Hello, traders. My name is Anna, and I am head coach at Leveraged here. Today, we are having a very special webinar. Normally, our webinars are on a separate platform, but today we decided to do it on YouTube. So hopefully, you gain value from it. I do want to say that I will be just kind of trying to shoot through the subject, show everything, and then in the end of the webinar, you will be able to ask me any questions that you have on this topic. I'm really, really excited about it. I can see that Sigma FX Trading already says, hey, everyone, looking forward to this. Thanks for tackling this subject. You're very, very welcome. I'm really, really excited. I am someone that journals a lot. Journaling has been always part of my journey as a trader. So I am really, really excited for this. So as you can see, right, really excited. Now, let's start. So journaling, trading journal. Importance of building training process and journaling process, right? So in this webinar, what we're going to do is we are going to look through different, I don't want to say subjects, just through different, through different things, and we'll try to cover as much as we can in not too long time of the period, because I don't want to keep you here for hours, right? Because this is the topic we could chat and chat and chat. So just trying to keep it really simple and also give you like a very simple template that you can use. And you will hear me say simple a lot, because that's the main idea on this webinar, is to keep it simple so you can start your journaling. Because so many times you can be thrown at with huge templates. You have this huge journal in front of you and you just get confused. So let's keep it simple. So why traders should keep a journal? That is the first one, right? So obviously, why? It's clear, right? Why we should keep it, because it helps us to be organized, and I'll cover all that. Setting simple processes. This is also a really, really important thing, because the process itself, like building the routine so you can actually have time to journal, keeping it again simple so you actually enjoy your journaling, right? Then we're going to look at the Notion. So Notion is the app that you can use. It's free tool. It's just I used to I'm still pen and paper. This is my favorite thing to journal, right? This is the favorite way to journal, but Notion is really, really good. And if you're someone who doesn't like really all the tech stuff and you just want to use the pen and paper, that's okay. But you still can use some kind of the template and the Notion. You can still use it for your pen and paper, right? And then simple and sustainable journaling, we're going to talk about it a lot, actually, because this is why so many fail, because they don't have it that sustainable, right? And then we're going to focus on lessons and progress. And after all this, you will be able to ask me your questions and I'll be happy to answer if you have any. Okay, so let's start. Why traders should keep a trading journal. Now, keeping a trading journal is one of the, I would say for myself, right, one of the most powerful habits as a trader. And I have developed that now journaling, my trading journaling is just part of my routine. It's part of my process. So it literally helps to track the progress, right? So that's why we're doing journaling. And now we need to identify. Now, journaling can be, it's like, for everything. So that comes into journaling your emotions, collecting your data. So that's also your spreadsheet. So you can connect all that into the journaling. But today I want to keep it really, really, really simple and just cover the basics, right? So why we should keep a journal? To track the progress, right? And it's just like and it helps us to see how we're evolving over the time. Next one is to identify strengths and weaknesses, right? So writing down like each trades, everything that you are like taking, your, I don't know, win or lose, or your emotions. There's, I'll walk you through the actual template, and then you will see why it's like will help you to identify your strengths and weaknesses. But also, I do need to say, you will only be able to identify them if your trading journal is built correctly, because there's so many traders who journal, but they actually over journal, and then they don't know how to use that information that they've got there, that they put in there, and they don't know how to pull it out. The next thing is the discipline, right? So building this discipline and accountability. Journaling just becomes like it's not a chore, right? But some traders like to say it's just one of the chores that needs to be done daily, right? Or some say non-negotiables. I think non-negotiable sounds better, but in all essence, non-negotiable and chore, it's like the same thing. Like as a mom, I see, chores needs to be done. If you want to play, you need to do your chores. You need to, make your bed. You need to do some kind of housework. You need to do your homework, whatever it is, right? It's like a chore. Same thing for non-negotiable. And that helps us to build discipline, right? And also accountability. And next one, that all the journaling, right? Everything that you're doing there, like you're journaling, collecting the data, that creates the feedback loop. And what that means basically is that your journal is a personal feedback system, right? And that's why you're journaling, because you want to get that feedback from there. And then you can see that it will help you learn from both, right? From your wins, from your losses, from good experience, bad experience, all the things that you have learned. Because if you collect it properly, if you have the way how to collect the data properly, then that in the long term will help you and create that feedback loop. Okay, let's go to the next thing. Setting simple processes. So this is where we're going to spend a little bit of time, right? And we'll make sure that first of all, what you need to do, you need to make sure once you're ready to start to journal, you need to add it to your routine. And, I'm a very strong believer that we all don't have 24 hours. We all have 24 hours in a day, but we all don't have the same 24 hours in the day. There are people, traders, who are working full time, who are parents, they have other responsibilities, they have their own hobbies, right? We want to have a hobby as well. And it's just, we can't put everything, all the journaling and like, now I'm going to have this huge journal and I'm just going to journal. No, you can't do that. You need to make sure that you can put it into your routine. And the secret, which is not really a secret, the keyword is simple. You need to make it simple. So if you want to add journaling into your routine, you need to make sure that your journaling is simple and it's not going to take you hours and hours to create that tool, to then do the journaling every single day, because you will, as you will start to feel almost, I'm sharing my experience here. When I started to journal, I was like overloaded with things that I wanted to journal, but they were unnecessary. So that's what I'm saying. The simple is the key in here. So next one, keep it all in one place. Now, this is where, I'm a little bit OCD when it comes to my journaling now, especially if we have a Notion. I found that Notion is a great tool and it really, really helps to keep things in the same place. But I remember I used to have my journals all over the place because it was pen and paper. I mean, I still do pen and paper more for my emotions. And I sometimes like to call this a vomit bucket because it's that's where all the emotions goes in. So it's like not so much a journal, but like my vomit bucket of emotions and the big emotional cocktail there. But keeping everything in one place is really going to help you get organized. It's going to be simple enough. The way I'm going to show you how you can use your Notion to keep it really simple, and it will help you to stay organized. And the next thing is consistency over perfection. I have been guilty of this many times when it comes to anything in trading. Like I just wanted that perfection. I wanted that strategy with almost like 100% win rate. The same thing in here. If you make your journal too complicated, if you make this, the task, right, the routine, if you put it in your routine and it's too complicated, I kid you not, you will probably, if I could like message you, okay, so this is your first day of journaling, good luck. 3 days in, maybe 7, you would be like, oh, I can't do this anymore. This is so time consuming. I can't do this. This is not necessary. And then you just like, oh, whatever. I don't need to journal. And, and that's why consistency over perfection, that's what it is. I'd rather take 5 minutes every single day and journal something, some of my emotions. I'm trying to understand something that I've done in the market or how I felt when I opened the trade, or actually to put the trades in that I took just to see that if my strategy is still performing or not. Like I'd rather do something small than, I shoot for that perfection where I'm like trying to do everything and overload myself. Right. So, right now, the next is that Notion journal. So if you're not like, if you never have used a Notion, don't get scared. It's really, really simple. I remember myself, I was like, oh no. And again, I you know what it is when you start to use a Notion and you can use like these free templates, and they are huge, massive. There's so many things in there. You get overwhelmed. You're like, what is this? what's happening and you start to freak out. And I've been there, I've done that. So this is like, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. So let's keep it simple. Let's build it in the most simple way possible, and we'll just put the basics in, right? So like it says in there, keeping a journal as simple as possible to begin with. And then once you have that into your routine, let's say when it only takes you like 10 minutes, right? 10 minutes, and you will be able to keep up with that every single day. 10 minutes, you just journal, you put it together, and that's where you begin with. And then if you feel like you find the benefit of that and you want to expand, then you can expand and do more. So without the further ado, let's do the Notion. Right. Okay. This is the Notion. So we are going to build a really, really simple template in here. And again, if you haven't used the Notion, really, really simple thing. Now, the basics of this, right, is traders will say, so what do I need to add into my journal, right? So I actually want to start with, nope, I will start with this, with trade journal. What does it go in there? So you need to add in there trade, right? So first of all, you can say the trade. So this is like number one, right? So that's our first position. I already put like a little example in there. Then as a traders, what do you put next? Is a date. Really simple, keeping it simple. So we need to know the date when we took the trade. Then we will show our position. Is it sell or a buy, right? So you can select sell or a buy in there. Then you need to know what asset you're trading, right? And for just to say, for those who are scalpers here who take many positions, don't freak out. I'll show you how you can also journal, and actually you should journal, but the journaling should be just a little bit different, because maybe, you know, if you're taking 20-50 trades a day, to put them all in here, that will take you a lot of time. So this is just more for the traders who are taking less setups. For example, myself, I sometimes can take up to 4 maximum setups, right? And that's why like this is good for more like intraday traders. So we need to know the asset, right? So what's the next thing after the asset? What is the next thing? Confirmation, right? So we need to know why we entered the trade, right? So confirmation could be higher time frame zone, candle closure, candle pattern, A analysis, right? So whatever it is, you need to know your confirmation. And this is, again, this is to keeping it simple, but like this is also for your confirmation. This is where comes your trading plan, right? Because then you will know what confirmation you use to enter that trade. So that means in the back of your mind, you also need to have a trading plan either written down, or you just need to know it, right? But I like mine written down. And actually one of my like things that I do in the morning, I just read it through. You know, I know that I'm trading 4-hour zone, 15-hour zone. I take the 4-hour range. I wait for my 15-minute closure. Then I enter the trade based on the candle closure, and so on and so on and so on. So for the confirmation, this is also going to help you with your trading plan, right? Because you will know the next one, not for everyone, right? So, but in here, you can either use risk to reward, or you can write down the pips amount, right? Or the points if you're trading like gold, or if you're trading like oil or indices, then you can use points, right? Or risk to reward. I personally like risk to reward, and you just here put the number in. And once you start to collect the data, then you will be able to see the summary of this, like how much you have made or how much you have lost in R value, right? And then you can also add notes, which is like your comments. And this can be just like a short comment, maybe, you know, I traded within my trading rules, or I didn't manage my trade well, something like that. So this is just like notes. It's like a really short comment. So this one in here, by the way, guys, you will be able to get this template if you join the Discord. I'm going to share this template, and you will be able to copy paste it into your Notion, right? So don't, just in case if someone is like thinking, how I'm going to get this, you'll be able to get this on the Discord. So you can join the Discord. The description is the Discord link is in the description, so you can join us in there. So, and then for the notes, just a really simple thing, right? So, and the main thing is we need to keep it really simple, right? Because we want to make sure that this is actually going to be something doable. Remember what I said. Now, if you are going to add in here percentage made, if you're going to add in here, I don't know, like session, we can add how many pips, we can add what's the range, we can add the time, specific time. Like if you know, like if you can cut to the basic for you, for the needs of your strategy, to understand like clearly, to see, you know, is this working or not, like just try and keep it basic. And I think these things, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, those are what you need to hit the basics, to hit and start to journal in. Now, again, for my scalper traders, if you are someone, right, scalping, taking many, many setups, most likely this is not going to be necessary for you, because a scalper, right, you won't be really it. I mean, there is a way. It's a lot of work, but maybe that could be like I could make like a separate thing, because so many times scalpers are, how can I, you know, journal my trades? And it's like it's a lot of work to journal the scalping trades, but there is things that you can do to make them easier. But like definitely this is not going to work for you, right? If you take like 50 setups, 100 setups, 100 trades, and now you need to put every single trade in here, you're going to go nuts, and it's definitely not going to take you 10 minutes, right? So you need to figure out the way how you can do it. And there is a way. You just simply don't add anything in here, and you can use your statistics to see how you performed, and just use, you know, like a simple table, and just write, you know, the date, and then how much R you made. If you can't even really calculate in R, just write the percentage or the money amount, and that's it. And then the next thing I'll show you is going to be the daily ASR. I'm going to talk about it just a little bit later on. So this is where we're going to tap into our emotions, trading plan, and risk management, right? But this is the basic I think that every trader should have. And this also, like this basic, once you take the trade, you record your trade in there, right? It is going to help you to build that habit of journaling. And the thing is, I'm like a freak when it comes to journals, and keep them nice and clean and all that. So, and I even put like a little, you know, like here, progress over perfection. We want to see the progress. So just start to journal, add a little bit, and then you can always add more and more in there, right? Whatever it is that you want to add in there, you can add something. I don't know, you know, like I said, session, for example. You can then name it session, and then you can add, for example, we will add London, right? So we take London session like that, right? And then you can also, if you want, you can add more, like New York, right? Right. So obviously you can't take the trade for both New York and London, okay? So, and then you can just decide what is it that you want to add in there. Does that make sense? So then you can start to add more and more, but like to keeping it really, really simple and really basic, that's, I think this is where we start. We start with something simple, and then we can grow into something more. But like just having these 6 things first to start with, to journal and to put the data in there, that's going to start to build you a habit. And then the more you will journal, the more you will start to see that, okay, this is really clean. This makes sense. You know, on the June 25th, I took, for example, 6 trades, and I made 2R, whatever it is. So this is going to start to make it easy to see your progress, and everything's going to be organized. And I'm all about that organization. Love it. Okay, let's talk about the next thing. So simple and sustainable journaling, right? That's what we need to cover next. Is once you start to journal, you need to keep journaling. Keep it minimal. So that's what we did. Just use 6 basic things, 5, what maybe I would say up to 10, right? Don't start to collect the data, over journal, just simple things, right? Because this was just one part of the journaling where we add the trades, right? So now next one is that ASR that I showed you, where I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. But keeping it minimal, that's what's going to help you grow into that habit, right? That's what's going to help you to add this journaling into your routine, trading routine, right? So, and that's the next thing is make it a routine. And then once you make it a routine, it's going to be like a second nature to you, right? It's like, I always have this example, right? Whatever we are trying to build a habit, it's like you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, and it's just like a second nature to you. You just brush your teeth, you know. And if you don't brush your teeth, who are you? Please brush your teeth, right? So it just makes that into routine, and it's just going to be like, you know, that's it. Or making the bed, right? The next thing, just make your bed, and it's just natural. You wake up in the morning, make bed, you go and brush your teeth, right? So then is that choosing about the right tool. If you feel like Notion is not for you, it's okay. There's spreadsheets. You can use spreadsheets. There's still other journaling tools, Evernote, just notes. You can use pen and paper. You're welcome to use pen and paper, right? So, and that's like, you just need to use the right tool. For me, for a very long time, I was like, no, I don't need Notion. I don't need it. I just love my pen and paper. I love it. I love my spreadsheets. And the thing is, I still use my spreadsheets because, I mean, no, Notion is great, but I use spreadsheets and the Notion, right? And in Notion, I can be more emotionally attached in there, so I can also let out my emotions. So it's like, technically, I use three. I use spreadsheets, Notion, and still my vomit bucket, if you remember, right, which is pen and paper. So, and then the next thing, this is a big one, right? Be honest. And you're like, what do you mean be honest? Journaling is for you. It's not for me to see your journal. It's for you. So whatever you do in journal, especially when you do your ASR, you need to make sure that you're a journal. And as a trader, you probably will relate now what I'm going to say. When you backtest, you also need to, like, you know, you need to raise your hand out. I'm going to be saying the truth and only the truth. So that means when you backtest, you make sure that you don't change your mind in a mid trade when you have, let's say, taken the setup and you're like, oh no, it's not going to work. The same thing for journaling. You need to be honest, right? So whatever you journal, you need to make sure that you put the correct data in there so that you're not starting to make your journal look prettier with more winners, with less anger or less frustration. So you need to keep it real, right? So be honest about your mistakes that you make, and once you will start to, you know, honestly open up to yourself, because remember, it's for you. It's not for me to see your journal. It's not for anyone to see your journal, right? So that's like something I would, you know, I would not share all my emotions, right? Because that's private. It's like journaling is private. So we can use the template, right? You can start with this simple template if you like. You don't need to use it, right? But like you can. And I would love to see you use this template just to start your journaling somewhere, but you need to be honest. And it's really, really important point in here. And the next thing, same I said in the beginning, it's the progress over perfection. Don't try to be perfect, okay? Just start your journaling journey, because it really is a journey, and it's just going to become like a second nature to you. And that's what I do. Like, you know, the first thing, obviously, I do look at the high economic impact news. I look at the charts and all that, but then I journal. How do I feel, right? My emotions. And that's what I'm going to cover in the next thing, is that daily ASR, right? So daily ASR is actually advanced self-review. Let me share the Notion quickly, just so you can see it a little bit better. Right here. So daily ASR, that is advanced self-review. And this is what we do when we are journaling. So that's why I say emotion. So now we need to tackle in the first one, right? So the bottom one that I showed you, that was our like trades, right? So now this is it. This is the gist. 3 simple things. Emotions. So you can do it before or after, or in the mid. Again, it's very personal. You know when you have time to do it, but as long as you do it, it's good, right? So let's journal emotions. And when ASR, that means it's advanced self-review. So you're reviewing yourself. So for example, emotions, you know, how I'm feeling today I am calm. Okay. And the thing is, every day you will be able to add that daily ASR into your calendar, right? And then I pride myself with all my ASRs that I have done, and I just look at my calendar and I'm like, this is nice and neat, this is beautiful, I have done my work, right? So for the daily ASR, also, why do I put the little, you know, the plant in here? Because that's symbolizing like growth, right? So we want to grow. So emotions, this is what you can journal. Obviously, there are really good templates out there that you can use, but I really think if you're someone just starting to journal, just trying to figure out, is it for me? Is it not for me? It is for you, by the way. If you're just starting out, just use really simple templates like this one, where there's you just starting. Okay, so emotions. Speak about your emotions. How do you feel? Right? How are you feeling? Are you feeling, I don't know, frustrated when you're seeing the trade lose? And then through that, this is where the feedback loop comes in, where you'll be able to see, that day on 25th of June, I had a lot of losses. And then you can go on your emotions and you can see, wow, I was really upset that day. Maybe you can starting my day, the kids really got on my nerves, or my car broke down, I couldn't get to work in time, whatever it is, right? So just journal your emotions. And the main thing is not perfection. You can make spelling mistakes as well, right? So it's just start. Just literally start to journal your emotions. And also this tool, what I have learned is when you write it out, when you write it out, and for example you're really frustrated, right, and then I'm so frustrated today, but I'm like trying to stay in control, right? It's going to help you because you let it out, you put that emotion in there, and it's done, right? You're releasing that. So that's like another cool thing about journaling, that you can actually release your emotions in there. And then next thing you focus on is your trading plan. And this is where you really need to know your trading plan. So if you don't know the trading plan, if you don't have one, then you need to build one. Okay. Because as traders, if you are, especially like I say, we need to be data driven traders, we need to know our trading plan. And then in here, you can say, today I was following. I can't speak and type at the same time. Following my plan. I was following my plan. I did manage my trades the way I should have and all that, right? So you just again type it out. Even if it's one sentence, you're starting somewhere, okay? And the next part is of that journaling is your risk management. And then in here you can say, did you manage your trades well? Sometimes what I notice is also that I will bounce between, my risk management and emotions, or my trading plan and emotions. And somehow, like if you look at, my emotions will always be more text, because it's just like that's what's happening. The emotional vomit goes in there, right? So we can say a lot in there. But in the risk management, some days you'll be, I manage my risk well. And that's it. That's all what you need, because that will give you that data that you need to say that, well, okay, that day I actually managed my risk well. And every single day you built these ASRs, they will show up in your calendar, and you will be able to see what days you were doing your journaling. And that's how data started collecting, and that's how you're getting better. And then I really, like, I truly believe that what happened to me first, this was, it was like, oh, I don't like this and all that, like, why do I need this? And then later on, this is actually tool, not this part, right, not the collecting the data and putting them in the journal, but this part, this is where, this is like a tool that I use to regulate my emotions. And once you write them out, that's what I say, you release that, right? And you just regulate them, and you can regulate those emotions. Um, and there's so much power in that release. Like, you're frustrated, you put it out there. It's almost like, you're sharing this with your close friends. We can put it in the next level. You're sharing this with your close friend, and it just gets easier. So, and I think many traders start to notice this, that the journaling that you do, you're actually starting to use it as a tool to help you control yourself, to help to control the emotion, to help to remember, like to remind you about your trading plan, because you constantly need to go through it every single day if you journal every single day. Does that make sense? So this is a big thing, that's advanced self review. And you start with three things: emotions, trading plan, and risk management. And that's it. You don't need to go more complicated than that. And then later on, you can start to evolve your the way you journal, and you can add more things in there, and you can start different, like, scaling system and all that. But this is the basic. This is as simple as it can get, honestly. So that's one thing. That's our daily ASR. And that's pretty much it. We can start our Q&A. Look at that, 30 minutes. I thought this is going to take me 30 minutes, and it did. So let's do Q&A. I can see that there is a question. Hey, Anna. Genka here. Can you add like charts and line graphs to track your progress visually? Yes, you can. So for example, I personally use TradingView as like the place where I analyze. But if you're using like MT4 or CTrader, you can also take a screenshot and then add it to your Notion, and I will show you how to do it, right? So for example, if you will use this template where you open up the screen, right? So what you can do then, this opens up like a new document, right? And in here, you can add that screenshot, right? And in here, you'll be able to see whatever, guys, this is just like an example. So I'm not sure about, you know, what's this chart all about, but it's just like an example. So, and in here, then you can see, you know, your trades, and you can also select it as a gallery view. So it's going to be really, really easy to see. So, so yeah, and every single day you can add it in here. You can just add the charts. Charts go here. And that's also going to be able to see, like also for the traders, what's really good practice to do is that you go through all your losing trades, for example, and then you can start to analyze why this trade lost, right? Maybe, you know, you start to see, this is actually the trade that is not really hitting my profit, or I'm really losing on this pattern or on this specific confirmation entry. So, and then the visuals can definitely help you to see that. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. But another thing though, you can also, I've seen few traders actually do this, where they add charts in there, and then they will also add their a screenshot from like exactly the trade, how it looks with the entry, exit, how much like money it has made or it has lost. And it's just like they copy from either the MetaTrader or the CTrader, and they put it in here as well. I don't know. I mean, I just like charts because it's like a manual thing, right? In Notion, you can't really automate it, so you need to put it by hand. In here, all the like assets position and all that, but you can definitely put the charts, and I think it's really good. It helps. Also, you know what? We are all like, there are people who are very visual, and they just need that picture in there, and then it helps them. There are people who can have their templates just messy, like all over the place, you know? And I'm like, I'm not one of those people. I'm not. I really don't like when things are really messy. I like them when they are like in order and nice and easy to follow through. So but yeah, I think, you know, just because you can also add them here, those charts, they're not visible. They're only visible when you open up the document, right? For example, if you add it on your third trade, I don't know, let's say third trade, put GBP USD like that, right? And then, you know, you will be able to see them, those charts like that. But yeah, I'm all about, I made myself giggle there. I'm all about like simple things and just making them nice and neat. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Is there any other questions? If there's no questions, that's great. That's great. It's really good. Right. I need to remind you guys while I'm still here is that you can join the Discord after the stream. I will share the template with you so you can start to use the Notion. A couple of people asked already if the Notion is free tool. Yes, it is. It is free tool. You don't need to pay this subscription. You can, but you don't have to. So it is free tool to use. And if you don't like Notion, that's absolutely fine. You can use this template, not this exact template, right? But you can start to journal just by writing in these things, or the easiest way is even for the pen and paper lovers, just emotions trading plan and risk management. So that's pretty much it. Okay, guys, that was super good. Thank you so much for joining in. I really appreciate you all. Hopefully from now on, you will all be journaling, and you will all be making sure that you add this into your routine. It's, you know, just starting with 10 minutes, right? And then soon enough, it's going to become your second nature, just like brushing your teeth, right? And you'll be able to help yourself and, And I really do believe that this, especially the daily ASR part where you do your emotions and you check in with yourself, I do believe that's like a big, big help for the traders to go further in their trading journey, right? Because you learn about yourself, you learn about your emotions, and you also create that feedback loop. Okay, Sigma says, time to start to journal. Exactly. Time to start to journal and time to, I think it's not just only, like, okay, time to start to journal, yes, but it's also, you will see of your results, like how good of the trader you are or how bad of the trader you are, right? So it's really exciting. And I remember when I started to do it, I was so excited. Just main thing, let's keep it simple so you stick to it. So it's not like in 3 days, I know what, Anna, I gave up, I can't do this. So if you do it like really simple, then everything should be really good. Right, guys, have a lovely Thursday, and I will see you tomorrow here for the live stream. It's going to be me and Davet trading live here tomorrow, so that's going to be exciting. So for now, thank you so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.